All right, guys. Chris from the Nobody Greater podcast back again. This time we're going to go down the schedule. I don't really have to break it down too much because if you're an avid football watcher, then you kind of know the situation that most of these teams are in. A lot has changed from last season, but a lot has stayed the same as well. So I got it for you right here, courtesy of Raiders Wire. USA Today. I want to shout out the source that I'm getting it from. But the newly look Las Vegas Raiders, along with our new coach, new GM, new everything for the most part. We even about to have a new president because our owner got rid of our president for whatever reasons that we don't really need to know because he's the owner. So I'm sure he got all the information that he needs to know. But we open up our NFL schedule September 11th of all days, so 9/11. We're going to play the Chargers. That's going to be at 1:25 p.m. As y'all all know, as Raiders fans, we are in a stacked division. So it's going to be a gauntlet this year for whoever wants to make the playoffs. I don't think two teams from our division is making the playoffs. So I feel like we have the tools, we have the coach, we have the foundation that we need to actually make a run this year to make it back to the playoffs. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting game right there with the Chargers, considering, they want to get their revenge too because we put them out the playoffs last year instead of just letting them go in with us. But we'll see how that turns out. And then in the very next week, September 18th, we got the Arizona Cardinals. That's, once again, a afternoon game, 1:25 p.m. I really think we got a shot to pull that win off with the Cardinals because we all know, it's trouble in the water with that franchise. They have been very hesitant to give their quarterback an extension, even though they're giving their GM and their head coach an extension. But that's besides the fact. Because we know the Arizona Cardinals, they just made a trade for DeAndre Hopkins, who's not going to be in the game or playing because he got suspended for PEDs. But instead, they're going to have Hollywood Brown and A.J. Brown again. But it should be an interesting game nonetheless. Week 3, I really think we should win this game, September 25th against the Tennessee Titans. That's going to be a 10 a.m. game, so very early. We should win that game, so let's just keep going down to our bye week. Week 4, we got the Denver Broncos afternoon game as well. That's going to be October the 2nd. We all know the Broncos got Russell Wilson in the offseason along with additional players, but they also traded off a good amount of players as well. And we know Jerry Jeudy recently just got arrested for, we ain't got to speak on that because he's innocent until proven guilty, so we'll see how that plays out. And then week 5, we got another one of our division rivals, October 10th. We got the Kansas City Chiefs. That's going to be on Monday Night Football. That's going to be a night game, I'm assuming, 5:15 p.m. And then, going into week 6, that's our bye week. I don't really like where our bye week is positioned. For the most part, you really want your bye week later in the season rather than early in the season because you're going to play more games, which gives your player more risk for injury. And, the playoffs are already kind of long as well. So, I don't really like where our bye week is in week 6, but that's just going to be up to our players to pull it through and tough it out throughout the year. And, hopefully we can keep our players safe. But, yeah, as you can see, our first 5 weeks is kind of a gauntlet, especially with 3 of our division opponents in the first 5 games. That's not easy because those games are always very, very competitive. And for the most part, they always come down to the wire. So if you want just an early prediction, safe prediction, I'll go with 4-1. 4-1. I just feel like one of those divisions rivals are going to get us. I don't want to be too biased because we do play at the Chiefs. We do play at Titans and at Chargers, which everybody knows as a Raiders fan. That at Chargers is actually a home Raiders game because every time we go there, we make it our home. But I'm going to say either 3-2 or 4-1. I wouldn't be too upset with either one of those records because, it's a long season and it's going into our bye week. So we can go ahead and do what we need to do to make any corrections. But I love our schedule coming out of the bye week. I really do love our schedule coming out of the bye week. So we got week 7 picking back up October 23rd, my little brother's birthday of all days. We play at home versus the Houston Texans at 1:05 p.m. That should be a dub. Even though Davis Mills is a quarterback I like, and I really think we should watch for him in the future. I really think he's going to be good out of Stanford. But the Texans is just not a good team. Then we got a hard game against October 30th against at the New Orleans Saints, so in the Dome. That's going to be at 10 a.m. If to know me is to know that I really think Jameis Winston's a very, very solid quarterback. That game could go either way, to be honest with you. So that's week 8. Week 9, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars, 10 a.m. Even though I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be better this year than they were last year, I really think that's a win that we can get. So let's just say we go into the bye week 3-2. Then by the time we play the Jacksonville Jaguars in week 9, that will be 5-3. I'll take that. I'll take that all day. And then we continue week 10 against the Indianapolis Colts, 1:05 p.m. That's going to be at home. November 13th, I really think that could be a win as well, even though, Matt Ryan is going to be their new quarterback instead of Carson Wentz. He's a lot older than Carson Wentz, so he's a lot less mobile. So as long as our defense could be very solid and, we ain't really got to worry about containing him, but more so putting the pressure on him to where we can get him outside of the box and on the run, then I really think we got a good chance to win that game. Then we fly back to the West Coast to play at Denver Broncos at Mile High. That's going to be an afternoon game, November 20th. So we should see how that one can go either way. But then we go at Seattle. So we go from playing Russell Wilson to playing Russell Wilson's former team with Drew Lock at quarterback or Geno Smith. Or it could be Baker. Who knows? They might make a move for that. But the Seattle Seahawks don't put no fear in me, and shouldn't put no fear in us, to be honest with you. So I really think we can win that game as well. Then we pick it back up week 13, Los Angeles Chargers, again, afternoon game at the Chargers, which I really don't like how they make us play at Chargers. But I guess the NFL knows it's a home game for us too, because the Chargers, quote-unquote, fan base. But, everybody knows, look, you got to be unbiased in the NFL. Justin Herbert is a very, very solid quarterback. We all saw how clutch he was in the game last year against the Raiders. Man, he had me on the edge of my seat quite a bit that last game we played. But that doesn't take away from football being a team game, and I really just feel like we're the better team over the Chargers. Then we go at Rams, so we stay in Los Angeles. That's going to be a very short week. Literally Thursday night football. We go from Sunday night football to Thursday night football, so we don't have to leave LA. And if we lose for whatever reason to the Chargers, we got a good chance to make that back up versus the Rams on that Thursday. Or if we beat the Chargers, we got a good chance to lose that game at the Rams. Hopefully, the Raiders fan in me, we win both of those games. Then we got to fly back home for a night game against, you guys know who, the New England Patriots. That's going to be Sunday night football, prime time. I know Josh McDaniels is going to be extra hyped for that game, looking extra forward to that game to try to, knock off his mentor, Bill Belichick. Like I said, very solid quarterback, or quarterback on the rise in Mac Jones. We play a lot of solid quarterbacks, not superstar, but more so just solid on the cusp or one day being a superstar. And, that's all fine and dandy, but we got better teams than most of these teams with solid quarterbacks. We got better whole teams as a whole than these other teams without all the weapons that we have on ours. So I really think we can beat the Patriots right there Sunday Night Football at home. Then we fly to Pittsburgh for another night game against the Steelers, which, we should be able to beat the Steelers. We are a better team than the Steelers. Shout out to my boy Isaiah Buggs, who's on the team. I grew up with Isaiah Buggs in our hometown of Russell, Louisiana. Maybe just a block over from him. We went to the same schools and everything. But I know he himself is going to be looking to get a little revenge because the Steelers drafted him out of Alabama, and they ended up cutting him, and now he's on our team. So I know he's going to be extra motivated for that game as well. Then we fly back home for the last two games against the 49ers and the Chiefs. So, hey, as you can see, I would put us in the middle of the road as far as strength of schedule. I don't really think our schedule is too hard. Yeah, we play some really solid and good quarterbacks, but as far as the whole teams, and all of this is subject to injury. So anybody could get injured, knock on wood. We don't want nobody on our team really getting injured. And if they do get injured, not for that long, maybe a week or two. But I really love our schedule. I really love our odds to make the playoffs this year. Not talking about the teams we play within our own division, but more so the other teams that we play that are not in our division. We got a really good chance. And if you want me to just go at the top of my head, in these 18 weeks, really 17 games in 18 weeks, I will go with, I'm going to go with 12-5. I really think we got a chance to go 12-5. 11-6 as the worst. 12-5 is my ideal record. 11-6 is the worst. And then for the best, I'm gonna go with 14-3. Even though I know that's very hard to do in the NFL. 14-3 is the best. 12-5 is my ideal record. And then the worst is probably 11-6 or 10-7. But we'll see how that all plays out. I just wanted to give you guys the rated schedule if you guys have not tuned in to anybody else for it. And I'm going to be back a lot more regular because I got a lot of things in my life situated now. Chris here for the Nobody Graded Podcast. That's my opinion on the schedule. Please like, subscribe, comment. Tell me your opinions on the schedule and what you think our record might be. I'm gone.